I thought it was a horrible idea.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought, oh, we made Power 90 hard. Let's make that harder. Like we're going to sell this to 35 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And initially, that's how many people we sold it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to do something to help people who are really struggling with their weight. You know what I mean? And so I thought you were insane. But I said, I'm game. I'll make what you want me to make.
And we go out to a Santa Monica beach.
Yep.
Right? We had some equipment out there. I'm playing director.
Yep.
And you're out, you and Debbie and some other.
And it was foggy.
It was nasty, right? We were doing beach shoots.
Yeah, and we were freezing.
And of course, we're right in the middle of the shoot. It was a 7-minute workout.
Mm-hmm.
And the police come.
Yeah, they do.
And they ask for our permits. And, or I think they asked John, and then John comes over, and I said, oh, tell him I'm going to run to the office and get it. So John goes over, tells the guy, we're going to run to the office and get it. So we send one of the, whatever, PAs or something, off to get it, and we tell him not to come back. So,
I didn't know that.
yeah, so the officer was like standing around. He's like, how long is this kid going to be? And we're like, he says he's on his way back. And he's like, well, I can't wait around here anymore. So he took off, and we finished the shoot, and the rest is history.
My agent at that time, my acting agent, said, you look kind of puny. You need to start exercising if you want to get work. And it was all something that I would do on the side. Then, of course, you know the story with Tom Petty and meeting him through Harlan Goodman, and then I got him in shape. And then, oh, I'm a trainer now? You mean I don't have to do mime at the pier anymore? I don't have to build boxes anymore? I don't have to, I'm not I was working at Chippendales after 10. It was a gig. I had every gig. I had all the gigs, man.
You had to make the money, pay the rent.
And, dude, thanks to you, I was floundering around. I had that little show called 360 for a while. So I liked that part of and I was doing stand-up, and I was at Second City, LA, and I was taking all these scene study classes, and I was working on this craft so I could be really comfortable in front of a camera or on stage or whatever it was. And the fitness was a side gig. And then, you came along and said, hey, we became great friends. You were Gunther, I was Dieter, or
right.
the other way around.
I forget who was who.
Who was who, yeah.
We should do this whole podcast in German accent.
Just do it in the German.
So then what happened?
Yeah, so fantastic,
Do you remember your first reaction when I proposed the idea of what was called Power 90 Extreme to you? It obviously became P90X. Do you remember your first reaction to it?
I thought it was a horrible idea.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought, oh, we made Power 90 hard. Let's make that harder? Like we're going to sell this to 35 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And initially, that's how many people we sold it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to do something to help people who are really struggling with their weight. You know what I mean? And so I thought you were insane. But I said, I'm game. I'll make what you want me to make. And remember, you wanted to make it a 6 workout mastery program. Mm-hmm. And thank God I talked you into like, hey, let's make this thing hard. Let's add Kempo. Let's add, all these extra little ancillary stuff.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you is because I was, here I am, big shot CEO, whatever. I was 39.
That's right. That's right.
But
the days.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
And, I remember we were sitting in your apartment and I said, the thing that I love about Power 90 is I master the moves. So midway through this, like I can lift big weights and stuff.
Right.
And that's when you introduced the concept of muscle confusion and said you're going to get faster results with this, even if you never master it over the course of the 90 days. Mm-hmm. And it fascinates me because... And
it theoretically shouldn't have worked.
Theoretically.
I designed it because when I'm with Tom Petty or Billy Idol or Bruce Springsteen, to try to keep them entertained, let's try this, let's do that. I was constantly bombarding all my celebrity clients with a variety of things so they would stay interested. And I was trying to help them, and it worked for everybody who did P90X, to avoid the boredom, injuries, and plateaus from kind of repeating the same movements over and over again, which, can be a problem for folks.
So, why do you think, though, that P90X gets people results? I mean, the story I tell about my results from P90X were so good. My mom literally said, whose body did you put your face on? Like, Mom.
Yeah.
But why do you think people got, people who've toiled in the gym for years and never got those kind of results, when they go for it, button it down for 90 days, why are they getting such incredible results?
They got results same reason why I still get results. You know, you look at my weekly schedule now, I'm always adding in new things, and I've always got tons of variety. Variety was sort of the key to it, because, you know, it's all about, I mean, there's a certain kind of, like, you look at the plyo routine, that's a HIIT training routine, right? And you got chest and back and shoulders and arms, and you got back and legs, and it was that panoply, that cornucopia, right?
Throw more big words.
I don't even know what those mean, but anyway, hopefully we can cut that out if it's no good.
Yeah.
I just knew from training you and training Ben and training all my celebrity clients that seemed to work, because there was a greater likelihood that they would show up and train hard and come away unscathed, because we were doing different types of movements on different days. And the way we set up that schedule, like that 3-week schedule with a recovery week, like, people just go in there and they do all these bro workouts, you know what I mean, where they're just arms and chest, and they're not working their legs, and they're getting sore shoulders, and they're getting, you know, tendonitis in their elbows. And so the reason why I created it the way I created it, because I had seen the evidence already. I mean, and that was working for me personally. And, you know, muscle confusion was a made-up term. I mean, Arnold recently bashed the term. It's not the real thing, muscle confusion. I go, because Billy Idol used to call me Muscle Confucius, remember that?
Oh, really?
And that's kind of where it came from.
Interesting.
Billy Idol had a part in calling it muscle confusion.
That's so good.
And that variety of exercises, that constantly changing, was creating more time under tension, more muscle recruitment in a way that hadn't existed prior.
Yeah. And when the leader of the free world says, P90X, my wife loves P90X. All these Secret Service guys are doing P90X, and I can't even keep up with them. And like,
What's happening?
What is happening?
Yeah, man.
Like, that was one of those things. I don't know what happened the rest of the night.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is outrageous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did we just create? Like, what did we do?
Dude, I met Michelle at an event.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, the whole handshaking thing. I went up. She grabbed me, but with both her hands. Thank you for everything you've done. You know, and all the Secret Service guys, they had to cover their pins to get selfies because they weren't allowed to do that. And I met a Secret Service guy a couple weeks ago, Jim. He did it 50 times.
What?
He had, when Biden was VP, he would make Biden do Abraparex. Yeah, he was Biden's guy right next to him the entire time for 8 years. So that's amazing, dude.
It is an amazing
That is a
thing.
big, cool thing.
You've created something super special.
Like Colonel Stephen Shepro is one where he was in Afghanistan and Iraq. He built this huge tent. He projected P90X on a wall twice this big, and he had everybody under his command doing P90X 24 hours a day. They had to go into that tent and do those routines were going in a circuit. And then he brought it back to Andrews Air Force Base, knocked down the 4 tennis courts, and put up a screen. I stood in front of it. I had me do it live. I go, oh my God, I'm like 35 feet tall. This is amazing. And then so I did it in a joint base just outside of DC. You know, so.
And I remember you used to go into was it the congressional gym or something?
Yeah.
And you would have, like, how many people would you have in the congressional gym doing P90X?
I think I went about 4 or 5 times, and on average, there'd be 25, 30, something like that.
It's legendary.
Yeah. And they redesigned their gym, their open space, so they had power stands there. They set up pull-up bars, the whole bit. They rearranged the gym for P90X. Yeah, man.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, they had a separate little gym with machines and stuff, a little small room, but the main gym was all configured for P90X. Well, here's my advice to anybody between the age of 17 and 45 for that matter, but you got to stick with it. You have a ton of confidence to know that on day 1 to day 90, you're going to be a completely different person, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. It will change, and it'll change your life forever. You will not be the person you are going to be. You're going to be a completely different person, and that person's going to be a hell of a lot better off and happier and more flexible and more capable of doing things they never even expected. Well, hello, it's Tony Horton. How are you? You know, I'm glad that you've really enjoyed this interview. I can tell because you're watching it, because I can see you. Anyway, since you're here, I know you're really going to fall madly in love with this next one. I mean, I'm talking about knowledge consumed by you. All you got to do is go right over there.